What has human population size got to do with the Y-chromosome? In the previous video we looked at two special pieces of DNA that have been used to trace human ancestry back to one man and one woman, and how the rate of change in those two pieces of DNA suggests that the origin for this man and woman were within the biblical timeframes for Noah and Eve. Now in this video we'll be talking about how the Y-chromosome can be used to infer human population sizes throughout history, and how in doing so it gives strong support for a biblical age of humanity. But before I explain that, I need a bow tie. Hello, my name's Jack and welcome to Bow Tie Proclamation. In order to understand how we can infer human population sizes from the Y-chromosome family tree, I'd like to begin with this following example. Imagine a man who has two sons. The sons each inherit their Y-chromosome from their father, but with some changes. These changes mean that the two sons have a Y-chromosome that is different to each other. This means that the Y-chromosome has changed from one version in the father to two versions in the sons. The number of Y-chromosome branches has doubled. Now if we do this again and each of those two sons has two sons of their own, again the population will double from 2 to 4. As the number of branches doubles, so too does the population. In another example, a father only has one son. The son will inherit the Y-chromosome from his father, but again with some sequence differences. However, the number of branches from that original one is still 1. The population remains unchanged. In this case, the population isn't growing but is remaining steady. In a third case scenario, a father has no sons, in which case his Y-chromosome lineage ends with him, and is not actually passed on to the present, which means we've lost access to that particular branch of the family tree. Imagine a population with 10 men. Only 2 of those men have male offspring, and the rest do not. If we were to sequence just the sons, we wouldn't know of the existence of the other 8 males that were present at the time of the sons' fathers, because we only have access to the 2 branches in the present. We wouldn't have known about the other 8. And when the population decreases, we actually lose branches in the family tree. You can infer the human population size from the number of branches in the Y-chromosome family tree. If the number of branches increases over a period of time, then you know that the population has grown during that period of time. And if the population remains steady over a period of time, then you can know that at least it's been steady, or at worst, there's been a loss of the population, as branches which were present during that time didn't have descendants to pass on the Y-chromosome. We can tell what the minimum population was from the Y-chromosome. So now that we can use the number of branches on the Y-chromosome family tree to infer the human population size, how do we use it to infer population sizes throughout history? For that we need to use the mutation rate, which is roughly 2 to 3 base pairs per generation. Imagine we have 2 people with 30 base pairs of difference between them. Using a mutation rate of 3 base pairs per generation, there are 10 generations between the 2 people. But because they're both in the present, it needs to be halved so that they meet at the same point, the halfway point. So 5 generations ago, these 2 people shared ancestry. Now we multiply that with an age for a generation, typically 20 to 25 years, meaning that these people shared ancestry somewhere between 100 to 125 years ago. At the start of the family tree, you have the man that we all descend from. Then immediately after that, the branch splits into 2 separate branches. Then as you progress down the tree, you come across more points where there are branches that split off. And using the mutation rate, you can tell when those branches split off from each other. And you keep going down for all of the nodes in the family tree until you come to the total number of Y-chromosomes that have been sequenced. You then place them on a chart over time. As we go over the time, then the number of branches increases at each point. Probably best to show you. As you can tell, there's 2 blue lines here which represent a minimum and maximum age for these. So on the left you have the maximum age for that particular point, and to the right you have the minimum age. At the bottom left hand corner you have your first Y chromosome from the man that we all descend from. Then immediately after you got your split, As you progress toward the right-hand side to the present, the number of branches accumulates over time. As we can see from this chart using the existing family tree, we've got a long flat period till about 700 AD, and then population starts to spike up after that point. Now, when we bring in the recorded population sizes in black, you can see that only about a quarter of human history is captured using the Y chromosome. For things pre-1170, it doesn't match. The author for this publication went on to find another origin point for the family tree. So rather than going by an equal distance everywhere for everyone, they've gone, some branches have high mutation rates, like the previously suggested branches from last time that pushed the family ancestry beyond the flood date, to have a high mutation rate. And some other branches of the family tree to have a lower mutation rate. In doing so, they've restructured the family tree to look like this. Using this newly structured tree, the inferred population from the Y chromosome family tree to match the recorded population with an accuracy of about 95%. The region that isn't covered from 1770 to the present is likely due, so the author says, to poor sampling. This is because some populations were sampled with 12 people, 9, or 1, and anywhere in between. By redrawing the tree using populations that only have an X amount of males representing that population, we can look at the effect that oversampling of a population or undersampling of a population has. While one population tends to match the tree pretty well, as the population has more people representing it, more recent mutations are favoured, which skews the results in favour of a higher population growth in recent history thrown off the last part of the family tree. The author has gone on to do more work to trace events in history from the Y chromosome, and you can read about that more in his book called Traced. My particular favourite finding from the book is that the Ethiopian Jews and the Israeli Jews share ancestry around about 300 AD, about the time of the fall of the Roman Empire. I'd recommend you read the book or watch his video series on the matter. But until next time, God bless.